Part 3, Mastering Life series. We're intending to create great lives for ourselves. In order to create great lives for ourselves, we have to know how to do that, obviously. And we've got a system that is guaranteed. Have the right inputs, you get the right output. If you put this in, you get this out. And just like any game in life, it has a time limit, and it has a goal, and it has rules, and it has strategies and tactics and self-expression within the game. So you're playing the game of life. But if you don't know the goal of the game, and if you don't know the rules, and you don't know the strategies and tactics and methods and how to express yourself, you're not going to do very well. So that's what we're doing here. And we started with the goal in mind. That's how you should start. What is it I'm trying to achieve? Because if you don't know what, that's the first thing. You buy a new card game or a new board game, and the first thing is, well, what's the goal? What am I meant to achieve? So we said very easy. First you work out what you're trying to achieve, what's the goal. Second step, what do I need to do in order to achieve the goal? Third step, do those things. Then we said the first two steps are very easy. It's actually very easy to work out what you have to do and how to do it. You just read the instructions, really. But then doing it's challenging. And then we said, well, great things in life are not easy. If it's not challenging, if it's not pushing you out of your comfort zone, then you're not growing, then you're not becoming great. Therefore, my least favorite phrase in the English language is, it's easier said than done. It's easier said than done is just an excuse. I know it's easier said than done. Everything is easier said than done. So don't say it's easier said than done. Fine. Then we said, okay, so what is the goal? Let's define success. How do you define successful life? To the extent you achieve the purpose. In any area, you had success in that area. Successful operation, achieve the purpose of the operation. Successful marriage, achieve the purpose of the marriage. So in order to have a successful life, you have to define what is the purpose of life. So we said the purpose of life on a very universal, humanity, broad level is to become a great person. And then we said, really, there are two definitions of what makes you great. It's not how much money you have, not how good looking you are, not what car you drive, not how good you are at sport, not your talents, not your skills. That doesn't make you a great person. That might make you a great tennis player, great businessman. But a great person is defined by a great personality, not a great persona. That's how you want people to see you. But really, you're a good person, which is defined by your character traits. Your character traits. And we said the primary character trait of great people is kindness. Be kind to yourself, be kind to other people. Be a kind person, a loving person, a compassionate person, a non-judgmental person, and then a person with peace of mind, motivation, inspiration, playfulness, joy, love. So that's really the first goal, and that's called your purpose. In Hebrew, your tachlit. Your tachlit in life is to improve yourself, become the best you can become, and that means character traits. And then we said there's something called a tachlit, a tafkid. Your tafkid is, your mission is, how are you going to make the world a better place? How are you going to have impact? So really it's growth and impact. Personal growth and universal impact. Self-actualization, becoming the greatest you can become, universal actualization. Growth and contribution. Growth and contribution. So that's it. So therefore those must be your two defining, driving factors in your life. For every decision you make. Which one of these two decisions is going to help me grow more and help me give more to the world? And, sorry to say this, but it's usually the one that takes more effort. Get out of bed or stay in bed. Usually getting out of bed takes more effort, but staying in bed you're not growing very much. So it takes a little bit of effort. But if you want it enough, you put in the effort. Good? So that's basically where we've come so far. Yes?
How does this work in sync with what we said yesterday about being close to Hashem? That's like,
we are going to then get onto a spiritual answer to the question, which is the purpose of life is being close to Hashem. But in this structure that we're building at the moment, the highest character trait you can have is emunah, is closeness to Hashem. So for an atheist, everything I said is true, but their highest character traits are kindness, compassion, non-judgmental motivation. We have higher character traits which are called spiritual character traits, ahava, yira, simcha, devekus. And so we'll move on to those, but just now we're just...
when you say the purpose of life is to be a good person, a good personality.
I'm just saying that as a basic foundational, universal, for all of humanity purpose of life, is to become the greatest person you can become. Everyone agrees on that. Atheist would say the greatest person you can become is how good are your character traits and how much positive impact you're having on the world. We would say how good are your character traits, how positive impact you're having on the world, and how spiritually connected you are. So really, ultimately, according to the Jewish view, an atheist who's a perfect father, a husband, and curing cancer, running orphanages, kind, loving, peaceful, and joyful, has done very, very well, but he's missed the ultimate purpose of life, because if you don't have a connection with God, you didn't actually do what you were created for. But we'd still say he's done pretty well. And we said two amazing things. Number one, that this is the key to everything you want in life. Could you tell them to be quiet, please? Okay, the big guy.
He did it yesterday also.
Yeah. So, improving yourself and improving the world is the key to everything you want in life. And do you know what you want in life? You want 4 things in life. You want happiness, self-respect, meaning, and good relationships. I'm a prophet. I know that. Happiness, self-respect, meaning, and good relationships. That's everything you want in life. And everything you think is going to give you that, and everything you're chasing probably won't give you that. Being very rich isn't going to guarantee you happiness, meaning, self-respect, and good relationships. Being the best looking person in the world isn't going to guarantee you that. Being the best tennis player in the world isn't going to guarantee you that. Having the best car in the world, having the best body in the world, that's not going to guarantee you that. Do you know what is going to guarantee happiness, self-respect, meaning, and good relationships? Improving yourself, improving the world. The more you've worked on yourself to refine your character traits and to impact other people, of course you're going to have amazing relationships. Of course you're going to have meaning and fulfillment and satisfaction. Of course you're going to have a happiness because, and we're going to get onto this more, the major thing that is getting in the way of your happiness is your own negative character traits. No, it's my boss. Yeah, if you had more patience, you'd deal with your boss. No, it's my upbringing. If you had more emunah and more resilience, then you'd overcome your issues and stuff. Your main issue in life is your own negative character. I'm not saying we're not a victim to abuse and trauma as a kid, and nature and nurture, we'll talk about that. But you can choose, well, am I going to be a victim to those things and spend my whole life blaming my dad or blaming whatever? Or am I going to say, no, that was bad, I was the victim, but I'm going to become resilient and I'm going to therefore become a great father and I'm going to learn from that and grow from that. Growth and contribution, that's everything. Guaranteed good life, a guaranteed great life. Now, what's also amazing about this is, who is it up to? Who does it depend on? Only you. Only you. You get to choose how great you become. You get to choose how much you work on your character traits. You get to choose how much you learn to have peace of mind. You get to choose how kind you are. You get to choose how many people you help. You get to choose these things. So they are completely dependent on you, and they guarantee you a great life. There's no excuse for not having a great life. And everything that people are chasing to have a great life, money and physical pleasure and that, firstly, not necessarily in your control. And secondly, don't guarantee a great life anyway. So you're chasing something that's not in your control and isn't going to give you the results you want. That's psychotic. You've been sucked into some brainwashed American dream, which is an American nightmare, actually. But I'm guaranteeing you a great life. Just work on yourself internally and make the world a better place. That's up to you. Guaranteed. Yes?
When they both contradict, you can't improve the world when you're working on improving yourself.
Of course you can. The more you're improving yourself, the kinder you get,
Well, yeah.
the more you're going to help people.
But you have to stick with the one until you can get both.
No, I think they come hand in hand.
Right.
I think the more you're kind and help other people, the more refined you'll become. And the more refined you become, the more you want to help other people. The more you become motivated yourself, the more motivating you will be for other people. The more inspired you are, the more inspiring you are. The more peaceful you are, the more peace you spread in the world around you. They very much come hand in hand. But yes, in general, Judaism teaches that you have to work on yourself first and refine yourself first in order to have something to give to other people.
Yeah, exactly.
Joe?
you also can't really work on being kind because it's an action which is done to other people. It's an outward action.
You can't work on being kind?
By yourself. You're kind, I guess you can be kind to yourself, but you're kind to other people. Right?
You can be kind, you can work on being kinder to yourself. Lots of people are horrible to themselves. Beat themselves up. What's wrong with me? I'm such an idiot. I hate myself. Push themselves too hard. Put themselves down. Never give themselves credit. So you can learn to be kinder to yourself. And you can learn to be kinder to other people. Lots of people bully people. But then they grow up and they heal and then they learn, I'm not going to bully people, I'm going to encourage people. Kindness is definitely something you can train in. In fact, every character trait is something you can train in. You can become a kinder, more patient, kind, peaceful, loving, joyful person. You are not a victim to your nature and your nurture. Never ever say, this is just who I am. God just made me that. I have an anger problem, that's just who I am. Never say that. Say, that's something that I need to work on. That's an issue I have. That's something I need to cure. And then go and do that. You are actually here to build yourself, to create yourself. At the very beginning of the Torah, Hashem says, Na'aseh Adam. Let us make man. That's a very, very problematic verse. Because who's God talking to? Exactly. What, he's talking to the elephants? Let us make man. So some people who are against Torah, they say, see, that means there's more than one God. He's talking to the other gods. So really one of the answers is he's talking to the angels and he's being humble. He's saying, let's do it together. But the Baal Shem Tov says he's actually talking to you. He's saying, let us make you. Me and you together, let's create you. So I'm going to give you all the things you need, including your challenge and your bad character traits and all your lackings. In fact, we make a bracha that we thank Hashem for lackings. He creates many souls with their lackings. Why are you thanking Hashem for your lackings? Because through your lackings you become great. So Hashem says, you are a partnership. You are a partnership between me and you. I'm going to give you all the resources, all the fundamental things, all the situations, everything you need in life in order to become the greatest person you can possibly become. Now, unfortunately, in a way, greatness comes through pain. Greatness comes through challenge. If you're going to the gym and you're lifting up a pencil, it feels good, but you're not growing. So it has to be somewhat painful, not suffering, by the way. We'll talk about this as well. Suffering is why me, it's not fair. Pain is, this hurts, this is difficult, but I'm going to face it and I'm going to become strong. We can become strong through our challenges. So very clear here. You get to choose how much you work on your character traits and how much you live up to your values, by the way. So what we want to really speak about and understand now is the key to happiness. I'm going to throw in health as well, unless you get some strange disease that wasn't your fault. But just general health that is not your fault, like eating the right thing, not smoking and drinking, being a healthy person. That also depends on improving yourself, improving the world. So in fact, happiness, self-respect, meaning good relationships and health are all basically in your hands. And that just comes from improving yourself, improving the world. Good? So the key to everything you want in life is two things. Number one, have the right values. Number two, live up to them. That's it. Have the right values and live up to them. So the right values are very, very clear. The right values are improve yourself, improve the world. Growth and contribution. Growth and contribution. Those are my top driving values. Everything, my whole life, I'm living a VDL, a values-driven life. All I am really focusing on and wanting to do is improve myself, improve the world, growth and contribution, impact. That's it. But now, you have to live up to those values. Are you actually living in line with your values? So let's say you have a value, I want to be physically healthy, but you're smoking and eating lots of sugar and gluten and whatever you're eating. It means you have a value, which is health, but you're not living up to your value, and therefore you're not going to achieve what you want to achieve. Very clear. Do you want to be happy? That's something you're aiming for? Well, how much of your screen time is actually making you a happier and kinder person? Probably not that much. So you have to make sure that what you're doing, what you are valuing, is actually in line with your values. So let's think about this very quickly. What do you spend your spare money on? In general, think you got some spare money, you paid your rent, and whatever, your bills. What do you spend your spare money on? So if you think, the truth is, food, alcohol, clothes, movies, game, whatever, to be fair, weed, whatever. So you have to ask yourself, is the way I'm spending my money actually making me a better, kinder, happier, more empowered person? And if it's not, you've got to start saying, okay, well, I'm not therefore going to be the great person I want to be. And by the way, the food and the drugs and the screens and stuff, that's not going to give you happiness, self-respect, meaning, or good relationships. So you're investing in something that is not taking you where you want to go. That's a crazy thing to do. How about this? Your free time. What do you do in your free time? If it's looking at screens and going clubbing and that's not taking you to where you want to go. It's taking you to where your animalistic ego maybe wants to go. But in your free time, are you learning? Are you going to the gym and staying healthy? Are you playing the keyboard and music? Because that's a good expression, a healthy expression of your soul. Are you walking in nature? Are you volunteering in orphanages? Are you spending your money on giving extra tzedakah and gym membership and things that... Are you investing your time, money, effort and thought in the things that are going to take you to where you want to go? What's your subject of conversation? It's Thursday night, you're with the guy, what are you talking about? If it's sport, politics and women, none of those three things are making you a better, happier, healthier, kinder, more motivated person at all. So why are you speaking about those things? Because if I'm with the boys, man. I'm with the boys. I'm the boys. It's like, okay, they're very nice. I'm not saying you're a bad person. Just understand that it's very clear that in life, you have to do what you need to do in order to get to where you want to go. In order to live the life you want to live. So do what you need to do in order to be who you need to be in order to live the life you actually want to live. What podcasts and books are you listening to? Once again, if it's just like celebrities and all that, that's not making you a better, happier, kinder, nicer person. Are you reading books about meditation? Or if you have anxiety, are you watching the anxiety podcast or there's an ADHD podcast? Are you actually investing your time in things that are taking you to where you want to go? And if you're not a bad person, just start moving a little. Start moving. I actually want to start investing in the things that are going to take me where I want to go. Seems very obvious to me, but if you think about it, very, very, very few people are living up to their values, which means very, very few people are spending their time, money, effort, thought, consciousness on doing the things that they need to do in order to get in the way. And in general, one of the reasons is because the other things are easier. It's easier just to smoke weed and speak about women than to meditate and think about how I can change the world. It's just easier, and it feels good immediately, cheap dopamine rush, so we're selling out. What are you thinking about? What are you falling asleep thinking about? Are you falling asleep thinking about how can I be a greater person? Or think about your day, what could I improve about my day? Or are you falling asleep thinking about whatever you're thinking about? Don't even tell me that one. So fine, so you've got to be investing your time, money, effort, thought, everything to achieve your goal. If you're not, you won't achieve your goal. It's really, really, really up to you. And by the way, be balanced. Go and have a beer and watch football. I'm not saying don't do that. But just start thinking how much of my time is invested in getting me to where I want to go. That's it. Very, very simple. So in fact, what I want you to do is you're going to do some homework. You're going to write titles. You're going to write money, time, spare money, spare time, conversations, podcasts, and thinking. Money, time, conversations, podcasts, thinking, and I want you to be honest and write down what you're spending your time, money, conversations on, and look at it and ask yourself very palpably, is this a wise investment of time and money and effort? And some things will be good, by the way. The fact that you're sitting in yeshiva, you're miles ahead of most people. I'm being serious. That's why I respect you. That's why I actually enjoy speaking to you. Because you are putting your money where your mouth is. You are putting yourself in a situation where you're doing something meaningful and you're trying to grow and you're taking notes and you want to work on your character traits. So you're doing very, very well, which means you've got a much better chance of living a successful life. And then all of your friends who are like, oh, you loser. You're sitting in some like institution learning ancient Aramaic text when I'm like got my bling Rolex, that, and it's like, no, I'm not a loser. I'm a winner actually, because I know what the purpose of the game is, and I'm invested in achieving in it. And in 30 years from now, you're going to see who's got a better marriage, who's got more self-respect, who's healthier, who's more peaceful, who's more connected. You'll see. Not that it's a competition, by the way. You don't need to compare yourself to other people, but just understand you're putting yourself in the right place in order to get to where you need to be. That should be very obvious to you. Very important to remember, again, this is a separate thing. You don't lose anything from being a religious Jew. You're not losing out. There's amazing food. Also, amazing. There is travel. You can travel the world. You can go anywhere. You can go bungee jumping. You can go skydiving. You can go scuba diving. You can do any job you want. You could be a lawyer, a doctor, a therapist, a wilderness guide. You could play any instrument you like. You can learn any language you like. What do you? You could go skydiving and scuba diving. Yeah, but fantastic. You should go. Very much so. There's no real experience that you're missing out on by being a religious Jew. You could be rich, you could have a beautiful wife, you can drive a great car, you're not missing out on anything. And the things you can't do, I can't eat pig. You don't want to eat pig, it's not good for you. It's spiritually bad for you. Anything that you can't do, you don't want to do. I can't watch TV on Shabbat. You don't want to do that, not good for you. You can watch TV for 24 hours a day, for the whole 6 days of the week. So yes, there is some slight sacrifice. But it's always a sacrifice of some superficial physical or material pleasure, which you're sacrificing, yes, but what are you gaining from that? You're gaining Shabbos, Yom Tov, Tefillin, Tefillah, Rosh Hashanah, Brachas, Tzitzit. You're gaining spirituality. So yes, I admit, there's a slight physical and material sacrifice. Not necessarily material, by the way. I got lots of very, very, very rich religious Jewish friends and people that I know. But in general, you're not losing out. You're getting everything you want. You got the balance. Yes.
What would you have to say about travel? Because I guess out of anyone you would understand.
Travel's very important. You should go and see God's beautiful world.
The fact that if you were a fully practicing Jew and fully keeping kosher, it limits the way you're able to travel.
Okay, so you can't eat the local curry and sleep with the local women. Yes. But once again, so you're sacrificing some temporary, superficial, physical pleasure, correct. But you can still walk in the Himalayas. And you have Shabbos in Chabad. So, oh yeah, but come on, Rabbi, I want to have a real local experience. So, correct, you can't eat the curry and sleep with the women. By the way, you can go into little villages in India and eat fruit and vegetables very well, and rice, and do your own cooking. I did that a lot. I ran 17 trips to Thailand when I was a rabbi. 3 trips to Peru, Machu Picchu, Nicaragua, Sri Lanka, India. So yes, there's a slight, but so you can't really go into temples anymore. Yes, I admit it, but there's always going to be a sacrifice. So okay, you can sacrifice the not kosher chicken curry for your soul, or sacrifice your soul to eat some chicken which tastes nice for a few seconds, and they're like, that wasn't even worth it. Is it not worth it? Yeah.
You mentioned the new return week of Shabbos and Yom Tov, which are amazing, but why can't you get those things if you're not?
Because if you're not really invested, then you're not really getting it. It's just like, I'll do it on my terms. Once you start doing it on your terms, there's no relationship there. You know what? I'm going to take all the good things from my wife. My wife wants me to do the dishes, and she wants me to help with the children, and she wants me to bring money, and she also wants a foot massage. So I say, you know what? I'm going to give you a foot massage. But she's like, the truth is, if you're not doing the dishes and helping with the kids, I actually don't want a foot massage from you. Thank you very much. So there's a relationship. You've got to build the relationship. So as soon as you can do good, just invest in the relationship. So if you're not fully invested in the relationship, then what sort of relationship it is? I'll do what feels good to me. It's cute, it's nice, it's better than nothing, and it's a process. You're just on the beginning of the journey, so start. But understand.
Do you feel a difference from when you,
Shabbos with your phone and Shabbos without your phone, can you feel a difference?
Yes, no, sure. Is that the only example you have? No.
No. Shabbos watching TV or not watching TV. Shabbos traveling to Tel Aviv. Forget Shabbos?
No, not forget Shabbos.
Did you say to me forget Shabbos?
Wrong word.
Forget Shabbos. Zachor et Yom Shabbos l'kadsha. I can't forget Shabbos. Everything's Shabbos. I can't stop thinking about Shabbos. I'm serious with Shabbos. Everything's about Shabbos.
Outside of Shabbos.
Shabbos. Yes, I'll give you an example outside of Shabbos. My marriage is amazing. And most of my friends from back home, they don't have that good marriage. Most of them are divorced, actually. Because when someone said, I don't have any physical or emotional intimacy with women apart from my wife. My mother and my daughter, but my women, someone said to me, that's really extreme, isn't it, Rabbi? And I'm like, yes, it means I've got an extremely good marriage. Thank you. Oh, very good. Every example, I'll give you a million examples. So fine, so you can create this good life. I actually don't want to go on to the religious, spiritual thing. I just want to keep it down to the thing that atheists, the whole of humanity can agree on. In order to achieve what you want to achieve, you have to invest in those things that are going to take you there. That's just very obvious. Very, very obvious. If you want to be a happy person, you need to invest in the things that are going to make you a happy person. And stop investing in the things that are just giving you temporary dopamine pleasure, but are actually not making you a happy person. So we need to understand this. In general, social media, Netflix, fast food, drugs, masturbation, they're not going to make you happy, great people. They're just not, it doesn't work. So investing in the wrong thing is not going to get you to where you want to go. That has to be clear. You know that. And that's why people are suddenly like, I'm just stuck, I've got nothing. So people have midlife crises. They're suddenly like, what have I done? Who am I? What am I doing? So you don't need to have a midlife crisis. You need to have a this life crisis. But it's not even a crisis. It's a this life, wow, this is so exciting. I actually see that I could create a great life for myself. Yeah?
Right? So the way I see it is like, all the stuff you're saying is like the reason I'm here is like, right, I used to do that stuff because of just like pain of like the idea that we're gonna die at like some point and we're not gonna, and we don't like really matter. And like that's all that stuff, and like not eating the pigs and all the kosher stuff, like it's the same thing. They're like bred to die, and like it's that energy, like you're right, like kosher stuff.
You're just saying for most people life is completely meaningless, so I might as well fill it with as much pleasure as possible. I'm saying even for those people who say life is meaningless, I'll just fill it with pleasure, eventually they realize, hold on, I'm not having a good life. So the people who say life is meaningless, but whilst I'm here, I might as well then set up an orphanage and help people, they're living a better life. It's just clear. Forget God and don't forget God. Good, so we're building something here. What's the goal? What are the steps? Invest in them. Do those things. Do the things that are going to take you to where you want to go. In general, they're a little bit harder than the loser things you really want to do, but then you won't be a loser. It's not easy being a great person. It's very, very easy being a mediocre loser. Very easy. People are very good at that. You don't have to invest that much. But you don't want to do that. You want to put in the effort to live a great life. Shabbos.